Welcome everybody to this Riftbound Learn to Play. Today we're going to go over the basics and necessities needed to be able to start playing Riftbound. Right now there's 4 legends that we know about. Those legends being Yasuo, who is a green-purple legend, Jinx, a red-purple legend, Volibear being a red-orange legend, and Victor being a blue-yellow legend. Riftbound is going to be a competitive trading card game for 2 to 4 players, where you join forces with your favorite legends and play out an army to conquer battlefields to score points. The victory condition for this game is for players to score 8 points, unless there's another alternate win condition. So to begin building your deck today, you're going to have to pick one of the legends that we know of, or in the future, legends that you would like to play. So for this demonstration, I will have my opponent on the red-yellow Volibear and myself on the blue-yellow Victor. In total, besides just your legend, you're going to have to make a 40-card deck consisting of cards that are the 2 colors that your deck has. So my legend being Victor, being blue and yellow, I will have a 40-card deck of blue and yellow cards. Once you've made a 40-card deck, which maximum copies of a card are going to be 3, you get to pull out 1 card that shares the same name as your leader, and it will be considered the partner for your leader. This is going to be a one-time cast later on that you can play, but if it ends up dying, it will go to trash, not back to the partner area, but it guarantees that you're always going to have a card that you can play that goes alongside your deck. So, for my partner, it is going to be the yellow Victor. For the Volibear's partner, it is going to be the red Volibear. Besides the 40-card deck, you will need to pick 3 locations for your deck that you would like. Right now, there's a total of 10 different locations, so you would want to pick 3 that benefit your deck greatly in the game plan you want to do with your deck. Along with that, you need to pick 12 runes consisting of the colors of your deck. It can be any number of a certain type of rune, so you could play 6 and 6 of each. You could play 8 and 4, or any combination that you so well please. Just make sure you want to keep it in a way that is balanced for your deck to do the things you want it to do. For this demonstration, both decks are playing with 6 and 6 of each. To get started with a game, you will shuffle your locations. We will do this for both players, and then one of each will be revealed. For Volibear, we are going to get the Void Gate spells and abilities here. Affecting units will deal 1 bonus damage. Each instance of damage and spells is increased by 1. So, if you had something that said deal 5 damage, it is now going to deal 6. But if you had something that said deal 1 damage and then deal another damage, each one of those instances would be increased by 1. While as Victor, we are going to get the Altar of Unity. When you hold here, play a 1 power recruit token in your base. That is going to be very good for Victor, as Victor is going to be a deck that likes to recruit resources and make multiple recruits. Starting hand size in this game is 4, so you would look at your hand, see if there's anything you would not like. For mulligan's sakes of this game, you can put back up to 2 cards. So for this, I will put back these 2 cards. They go to the bottom of your deck, and then you get to draw up to, the cards that you put back. So since we put up to 2 back, we put 2 back, we will draw 2 cards. So we have a pretty decent hand. Our Volibear player, we are just going to keep their hand how it is. It's not really going to be necessary, as I will just pull units to explain how things are going to work here. If you were going first, which we will say we are going first as the Victor player today, if you're going first, you are going to get 2 runes at the start of every turn. You will draw a card, unless this is a 4-player game. If there was 4 players here, whoever goes first does not draw. Each card, as you can see on the screen now, has a total cost, which is the top left number, a recycle cost, which is the little icon below it, a might in the top right, and then an effect that coincides with it. So right now, us being at 2 runes, we could play a 2-drop. So we are going to tap our 2 runes to play the Soaring Scouts. Everything in this game comes into play rested unless stated otherwise by the words accelerate or giving things haste that makes them come in ready. So we will have the scout come in rested, do nothing, and we will pass the turn to our Volibear player. As it is, they are the last player in this game. They get 1 additional rune, so they would get 3 runes. Sadly for them, they got unlucky, and they got 3 red runes. Volibear player would end up playing something if they had it. Most of the time, Volibear is a ramp deck. They want to get to 10 to 12 runes to play big characters. I'm just going to go briefly over what it looks like to have them play something without having to explain much. So I'm going to grab 2 cards to help explain more mechanics of the game. So as a volleyball player has 3 runes, they can go ahead and tap 2 to play a Legion Rear Guard. This is a 2-drop 2 might that has accelerate. He can pay a red as additional cost to have it enter ready. So since he has 3 runes, he could tap this extra red here, have it come in ready so it's no longer rested. And then he could tap it, and he can move this to a battlefield. Once he is moved to a battlefield, it would start a showdown, but there's nothing for him to fight, so he will conquer this location. Conquering the location will score him a point. Then if he had this Seal of Fury in his hand, he can... Seal of Fury costs 0, but as you see, it has a recycle cost of 1 red. What that recycle cost means, it means you need to take a red rune that you have and put it back at the bottom of your rune deck, and you can play this. It is kind of a pseudo ramp, but the good thing about Seal of Fury, it can pay recycle costs. So from this point on, if he ever plays a red card with a red recycle cost, he can tap this instead, so he doesn't have to lose runes on his board. At this point, Volibear would be tapped out, has nothing else to do, passes the turn back to Victor. Victor will untap all of his stuff, get 2 new runes, and then draw a card. As we can see at this point, Victor's really just kind of swamped on their hand. Doesn't have anything really crazy they can do. We're at 4 runes. This Vanguard does have 2 toughness, where our bird only has 1. So, a thing we can do is we are going to tap our bird, move it to the other location, scoring us a point. And then now, as you can see with this card, we're going to introduce another mechanic called Hidden. Right now, we can hide away, so we can tap this for 1. To hide this, you can have 1 hidden card per battlefield that you control, so as long as my bird never leaves, we have this hid away. And what it does is, later, for 0, we can kill a unit at a battlefield. Its controller draws 2 cards. So this way we can kind of contest our Void Gate, and if anything, we can kill our own bird to draw us 2 cards. Now we are going to activate our Legends abilities, where we are going to tap 1, tap our Victor, and this allows us to make a 1 power recruit token. With this 1 power recruit token, we can have it come in at a base that we control or our main base. We are going to put it at the Void Gate along with our Scout. So we have 2 total might here contesting the Void Gate, hopefully protecting it from things we need. Now, we would pass the turn as the Victor player over to the volleyball player. He would untap all of his stuff, and since he has a unit at a base, this is called a hold. Holding will net them 1 point for the turn, putting them to 2, and then they will do the same as always. We will gain 2 runes, they would draw a card, and continue playing the game. At this point, I just want to go over and say that Oh, and also Altar of Unity does have, when you hold here, make a recruit token. So keeping track of the locations and things you have will progress your game plan. So you need to make sure you have it. So this is the general gist of going back and forth. Now, just for the sake of teaching and demonstrations, if we had the rear guard here, we tapped the rear guard, we moved it here. Now we would start a showdown where we would have to assign our might, Legion rear guard being 2, and me having 2 1-drops. We'd have to assign our might to fight. The person with the highest might would consider the winner, while the losing player would lose. So in this situation, we would both trade right now, which would net me positive. But we will, for training's sake, just have the 1 power recruit to the Legion rear guard. I would say I have nothing in response here, as these, in showdowns, you can have actions and reactions. Reactions can be played anytime as a player you have priority. Actions can be played during your turn and during showdowns, and anything that doesn't say action or reaction can be played only during your turn. So this being saying that I could react with it for later if it was hidden. If we did keep it here, we could activate it now, but for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to act like we don't have it, so we would not be able to play this hidden blade from our hand. So the Legion rear guard would assign 2 might to my 1 power recruit, and my 1 power recruit would assign 1 to the Legion rear guard, which means my recruit would die, the Legion rear guard would win, and because he wins on the place, this would be a conquer, he would score a point. Now, other ways to score points, if he was at 7 points here, you need to either score a hold at the start of your turn to go from 7 to 8, or if you do not score a hold, you would need to capture every objective in a turn. So, in this sequence, if he was at 7 points and he moved to Void Gate, if he could conquer here, which he will say in this situation he did conquer, he does not score a point because he's not captured the altar yet. So he would draw a card instead. Anytime you would score a point, but it can't be your 8th point, he would draw a card instead. And then he could tap the recruits, move to the altar. This would score him his 8th point because he has captured the other location of this game. When you play 3 and 4 player games, there will be an extra 3rd battlefield that you would have to worry about, but that would put him at 8 points, winning him the game. Other cards that have alternate win cons is the location, the Grand Plaza. If you hold here and you have 7+ units, you win the game. So for Victor, this is one of their alternate win cons, because you make a whole bunch of little recruits, you put them there, you hope to go to the start of the turn and win the game. Another alternate win con could be this Tryndamere. This Tryndamere says, when I conquer after an attack, if you assigned 5 or more excess damage to opponent's units, you score a point. So if I was to move to Altar of Unity with Tryndamere, and I'm at 6 points, Tryndamere would assign 8 damage to a 1 power recruit. The recruit would die. I would see that I've conquered after an attack, scoring 8 points, and then score an extra point, putting me to 8 due to Tryndamere. Tryndamere scoring you a point can be the 8th point, which can push you over and win you a game. Another way that you can get the 8th point, if your opponent has no cards in deck and would attempt to draw a card, what they do is they take their graveyard, they shuffle it, and then they put it back in their deck, and they give every other opponent +1 point. So if you're at 7 points and one of your opponents is about to deck out, that can also score you a point, pushing you over that 7 threshold if you're in the long grindy game, scoring you a point. Besides holds, attacks, conquerings, I just want to slowly go over what I mean by reactions, actions, and just regular main of turn spells. And then there's also a special thing called signature spells, which we will get into right here. So for Yasuo, his signature spell is going to be Last Breath. It doesn't say signature spell, but we are assuming it is because this is what we see paired with Yasuo. The first signature spell we are 100% sure of is Super Mega Death Rocket for Jinx. As you see, is a signature spell with Jinx. This is 4 mana with a recycle cost of red or purple. You get to put back in either color of rune you'd like. To deal 5 damage to a unit, when you conquer, you may discard, return a card to hand. Yasuo's being Last Breath, you get to ready a unit, and it does damage equal to its might at an enemy at a battlefield. But as you can see, this is a regular spell. It does not have action or reaction, where Last Breath has action. This can be played on your turn or in showdowns. And then we have something like reaction with meditation. This can be played at any time. This includes before resolving spells or abilities. This could be in response to an ability triggering. It can be in response to almost anything, as it is a reaction. So, and then another signature spell that we believe is a signature spell, just doesn't have the wording yet, is Stormbringer for Volibear, which is choose a friendly unit in your base, deal its damage equal to its might to all enemies at a battlefield, then move the enemy there. This is a very good board clear for Volibear, because if we had a whole bunch of units out of place, they go choose my 10 power Volibear, or 9 power Volibear, do 9 damage to everything, and then move it there, scoring him a point. Overall, this game is very forgiving and easy to pick up and learn. If you have Tabletop Simulator, a lot of people have it and are willing to play and teach you and help you learn the game. If you do not, there is a Google Drive, which we will post in the description, that will allow you to get all the card images so you can print it out and play with your locals and friends. As of right now, as I've said before, we have Jinx, Victor, Yasuo, and Volibear. I'm excited to see what we have in the future, as we do know that we have Ahri, Garen, Lux, Master Yi, Annie, Lee Sin coming to the game as well. So look forward to the previews and the stuff we have coming in the future to let you know about more cards coming out. Hopefully you guys enjoy the game as much as all of us do, and can't wait to see you guys on the Rift.